Okay, it is now 70 days till opening night, employee preview opening night of Halloween Horror Nights 25, and my return, my triumphant return to my home away from home, sunny, sometimes rainy, okay, most times rainy, Orlando, Florida. And I'm rocking the Samoa Joe shirt, and we're going to talk a little NXT. Now, obviously, if you had listened to the Beast in the East podcast we did legitimately at 8:30 a.m. on Saturday, right after the show concluded, you would know that I've already kind of mentioned what happens after what I'm about to talk about tonight. Because obviously the after effects was Finn Balor taking the NXT Championship from Kevin Owens in a phenomenal match that I love talking about. Check out the Beast in the East podcast if you haven't yet. It's me, Ashley, and Aaron, and it's fun. We had a great time. Like we always do on the podcast. We go a long time, we're all long-winded, but we're all trying to entertain everyone as much as we possibly can. Entertain and inform is what I'm about here on Pop, and all the podcasters are exactly the same way. Now, I know this is wrong because obviously I'm behind, but this is how it works. My apologies. And Impact is missing. Why? Because with the scheduling the way it was, all the filming we had to do, and the work schedule and my sleeping schedule, basically I was not able to watch Impact yet. I feel bad about that. But there may be a time very soon that I will be doing, like, best of videos. What I mean by that is I'm going to take several weeks of TNA, and I'm going to tell you what the best stuff of those were, whether it's a promo or whether it's a match, and then we're going to talk about regular storylines. So, kind of like how a lot of other recappers do it. So, that's coming up. But this is just NXT. So the show starts off with a great hype package that chronicles the main event for the evening, which is Samoa Joe and Finn Balor taking on the NXT champion Kevin Owens and his tag team partner Rhino. Video package done glorious as always. We start off with a tag team match. It is the Vaudevillains making their return to tag team action, taking on the former mechanics of Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. I like Wilder and Dawson. They kind of remind me of what would happen if you took Trevor Murdoch and you teamed him up with C.W. Anderson. I know a lot of people that love North Carolina independent wrestling would have gotten extremely excited for me to say that word right there because, you know, that team would be glorious if they were together. That's what Dawson and Wilder remind me of, or Dash and Wilder, according to their Chiron. They faced off against the Vaudevillains, and it was a great back-and-forth match, a good way to start off the show, until Aiden got the tag in, Gotch hit the European uppercut to the back of the head, and, of course, Aiden came off the ropes with the swinging neck breaker, the whirling dervish, and the Vaudevillains win. So after the match is over, basically they go into William Regal's office, and they want a shot at Blake and Murphy in the NXT Tag Team Championships. Problem is, both them and Enzo and Cass want a shot at Blake and Murphy, so Regal's like, okay, fine. #1 contenders match, and it's going to happen literally tonight, July 8th, on NXT. I like this because this gets the Vaudevillains back into the tag team title picture where they belong, and I like the babyface version of the Vaudevillains. You can tell they're babyfaces because their entrance has a brand new theme. It's a lot more upbeat, very, like, carnival-esque. I mean, very jovial. It kind of reminds me, like, Charlie Chaplin comes to mind when I think of the Vaudevillains theme, but, like, this works really well for me. I love the Vaudevillains, and I am very happy to see them back in action. We get Devin in the back. She has Becky Lynch as her guest, and Becky basically says she has a hip flexor injury, so she's going to be off television for another couple of weeks to try to get better. But when she comes back, she's going to be hungrier than ever, and she says that she is going to say this is just the start of NXT. I am not a big fan of puns, but Becky Lynch actually makes them work really well on her Twitter feed every week during Raw and SmackDown, and also in NXT. So we get Baron Corbin in the ring, faces off against this big guy, like, bruiser guy. His name is Tucker Knight, and he's kind of like Bull Dempsey by way of the Italian Stallion. And I don't mean Rocky Balboa. I don't mean Sylvester Stallone. I mean the Italian Stallion, the independent wrestler. The one that is the reason that the Hardy Boys pretty much got in the wrestling industry. Yeah, that's pretty much what the guy reminds me of. And he picks him up, hits the end of days, and that's the end of it. Baron Corbin, I understand what you're doing with the squashing of people. There's no reason to keep doing that. His competitive matches they're sufficient. So if you're not going to do anything with him, then get rid of him. Like, send him to the main roster if you really want to do something with him. But Baron Corbin does nothing for me. He did, but now they have to get him out of the either A, he squashes people, or B, he's competitive with people. I mean, apparently he had a good match with Tyler Breeze over the weekend when the NXT went to Ohio and Pennsylvania. So we'll see if Baron Corbin ever comes back. We get sexy Evil Emma, which I love Evil Emma. She got brand new music. Of course, it's the start, the normal Emma music, and then it goes into a different music. I like it. It works really well for me. Face off against Carmella, which is not as over when you get her coming out by herself. Before this, you get Sarah Amato, Sarah Del Rey, and she is basically out there with William Regal and watching a training session with Eva Marie. Eva Marie wants an opportunity, and I think it's funny that Eva Marie segues to Emma and Dana Brooke, because I said on the podcast that Emma, Dana Brooke, and Eva Marie would make a really good bad girls tandem in NXT, and I think it worked very, very well. So yeah, this match was done decently. Carmella showed me a lot in this match. She actually broke off a lot of good wrestling. I really enjoyed that. Emma cut her off, locks on a body scissors, and she starts basically raining down, like, clubbing blows to the back when Carmella tries to sneak a victory with a bridge back. And basically, she rolls her shoulders to the mat for a 2 count. 3 shoulders in the corner, and she gets the boot up. 2 shoulders, a Thez press by Carmella, and toss her off to the ropes. She gets caught with a kick and a boot to the side of Emma's head. She's getting ready to fire up. She charges in and nails a shoulder. She nails a Carino driver or an Edge-O-Matic, depending on who's calling her match. She charges in, she gets tripped up, locked in the Emma lock, and Emma forces her to tap out. It was actually a pretty decent match for what it was. I've said a lot about Carmella in the past, and I'll stick to that. But she actually showed me a little bit in this match, and that's funny because I totally ragged on her during the Beast in the East podcast. And I believe I said something during Raw, too. I mean, that was a 4-hour podcast. How can I remember what I talked about? I can't even remember what day it is half the time. So we get a really funny, entertaining moment in the back. Bull Dempsey is in Full Sail in the back with a vending machine. He's starting to pound on the vending machine, and he really wants his pistachios, and he grabs a stool, and he's about ready to swing it, and William Regal grabs a stool and basically stops him, and he says, you know what, I just want my pistachios, and he's like, wait a minute, and he sees that Bull Dempsey has chocolate on his mouth, and Regal says, you know what, you need to get a grip real quick, because the next time we talk, you won't like what we say and what the outcome's going to be. So I think Bull Dempsey as like a comedy babyface, I actually think it's going to work. I really do. I like him running around and like blowing up himself. I think that's funny. I really enjoy Bull Dempsey a lot more now than I did, and I think that this gimmick actually will have a payoff in the end. NXT doesn't have much comedy, but it has a little bit. Bull Dempsey is part of it. We got a singles match between somebody I really like, obviously, that I've been a big fan since day one, and it's Tyler Breeze, taking on somebody that's very, and I do mean very, underutilized, and that is the former Shawn Spears, Ty Dillinger. Dillinger comes out to a 10 chant, which if you don't go to live events and you're not in Full Sail, basically you have no idea what it's talking about. Let me break it down. Ty Dillinger does this gimmick where he basically comes out with numbers, and he rates everybody's match, and usually he gets attacked for it. And all the shows that NXT did out of Florida, the Ohio shows, the Pennsylvania shows, Ty Dillinger was one of the high spots from everyone. Like Samoa Joe went out and put him over. A lot of people put him over. So before this, obviously, a nice little segue given the fact they used to be tag team partners, Jason Jordan is feeling sorry for himself, still looking for that tag team partner he needs to find, and of course Chad Gable shows up and says, as always, he's ready, willing, and shows his towel, which says Gable. I think Chad Gable and Jason Jordan are going to be a really fun tag team, and like I said, NXT's version of Haas and Benjamin pretty much is what I think is probably going to end up happening. So Ty's on top for a while. He nails a leaping stomp. He basically mocks Breeze, which takes a picture of him. I thought that was funny. Worked really well. A chop and a headbutt to the lower back, and he whips him in, and he goes for a scoop slam. Tyler counters the reverse DDT the next time. Backdrop suplex, floats over, lands on his feet. A Hurricane Rana into punches by Breeze, and the fans were chanting 6 at best. I thought that was funny. Charging with a forearm in the corner, ducks Ty's clothesline, beauty shot, 1, 2, 3, and a really good back and forth match. I really enjoyed this. I love to have seen it got a little bit more time. I'm really curious to see when they actually start pushing Ty Dillinger. I really think he's underutilized, and I really think they do something with him. And Tyler Breeze needs to be back in the world title picture in NXT, and I think that he will eventually end up there sooner rather than later. We get Dana Brooke in the back with Emma, and basically they are in the locker room of Sasha Banks, and they are kind of fiddling with her NXT Women's Championship. Sasha shows up, and basically Dana and Emma say, you know what, we run this place now, and how about we have ourselves a match if you can manage to find yourself a partner. Obviously, there's a guarantee that this is guaranteed to be Charlotte. Come on. I mean, obviously, even though Sasha Banks is probably the only pretty much heel of the NXT 4 Horsewomen, when that also includes Becky Lynch and Bayley, I will say, without thinking, that this is also laying groundwork for the fact that they will be teaming with Paige at SummerSlam to face off against the Bellas and Alicia Fox. But that's pretty much planting the seeds for that. So we're going to get Sasha and Charlotte, former enemies, now respect each other. Obviously, they respect each other at TakeOver, and they shook hands and everything was good, great, grand, and wonderful. And now they're going to face off against the bad girls of Emma and Dana Brooke. That works, and it keeps Dana Brooke in a tag match, which that's what she belongs in right now. So we get our main event. It is our aforementioned tag team match, Samoa Joe and Finn Balor taking on Kevin Owens and Rhino. This match was really good, really well done, and for a less than 10-minute match, they really brought it in the ring. So let's pick it up. Owens with a chin lock on Finn. Finn punches his way out, and he gets a back elbow for a near fall on that. So he pounds away at the head, and he tags in Rhino, and he hits a hanging vertical suplex, and he does squats. He does the same thing Cesaro does. He squats while he is got him up in the hanging vertical suplex. He releases it for a near fall. Tags Owens back in. He mocks Samoa Joe with the hang 10. And then he basically hits a snapmare into a chin lock again. Finn punches his way out again. Ducks the right hand. Shoulder block. Ducks the right. Protobomb. 5-knuckle shuffle. The entire Full Sail crowd, of course, yells, "You can't see me." And he goes for the F-Sank. He elbows out, does Balor. Double leg into the double stomp. And tags in Rhino. Hot tag, Samoa Joe comes in. Clothesline, inverted atomic drop, and Yakuza kick. Leaping back senton, 1-2, and a kick out. I call Joe's matches in my sleep, and have. Snap jabs, of course, comes off the ropes. Owens ends up trying to mess with Joe. Joe decks Owens, and that sets him up for a spine buster from Rhino out of nowhere for a near fall. Owens tagged in, he charges in, going for the cannonball, and of course he eats the ST Joe. Tags in Finn Balor, heads up top, and Joe sets up Owens for the muscle buster in the corner. And this is countered when Rhino gets involved and grabs Finn, knocks him off the top to the apron, not to the floor, just to the apron. So he's not down and out, but he's down long enough to basically not be a factor for a moment. Joe clotheslines Rhino on the ring apron, and Joe walks right into the pop-up powerbomb from Kevin Owens. Owens with the fireman's carry, going for the F-Sank again. Finn escapes. Reverse Bloody Sunday, countered again. Owens with a super kick, of course, staggered back Pele kick. And Rhino inadvertently gores Kevin Owens, which leaves him for dead. Finn with a shotgun dropkick sends Rhino into Owens in the corner, basically seated Owens in the corner, and hesitation dropkick to Kevin Owens. Finn Balor heads up top, coup de grace, 1, 2, 3, and they win the main event of the evening. And that, of course, led up to Finn Balor becoming the NXT World Champion on Beast in the East in Tokyo on Saturday. This past Saturday. So that was NXT this week. No Hype Bros this week. That was interesting. No Blake and Murphy this week, which means I don't get to see my girl Alexa Bliss. That doesn't make Owen very happy. But it worked. It worked for what it was. I mean, it was a decent show. I would say right now that Carmella really showed me something in her match against Emma. It actually worked quite well. I like the Vaudevillains. I like the mechanics. I really hope that they do something with both of them. I think that the Vaudevillains are going back into real contention for Blake and Murphy, and I think that's exactly what ends up happening. I think it's exactly what should happen, because you could tell when they were feuding with the Lucha Dragons back at TakeOver Our Evolution that a lot of the crowd really wanted Aiden and Gotch to win and win the championships. And when they didn't, some of them actually booed the Lucha Dragons. Now you have the Vaudevillains as baby faces, so they can put the titles on them, and then Enzo and Cass will get their comeuppance on Blake and Murphy eventually, and then we'll go to that. Ty Dillinger and Tyler Breeze had a really good match. I really wish it would have been a lot longer. Good television match. Good solid television match between Ty Dillinger and Tyler Breeze. And I really believe that Ty Dillinger, once they start utilizing him, I think he's going to be great. He's going to be gold, Jerry Gold. And the main event, like I said, for less than 10 minutes, they really brought it. It was just enough to whet the appetite. Because obviously this is not the last we're going to see between these four competitors. That was NXT this week, and enjoyable show. If you haven't checked it out, go to the WWE Network, and you can watch it on demand right now as you prepare for tonight's episode of NXT, which is going to be airing in a couple of hours, because it's almost 6 o'clock right now. So, quick programming note, tomorrow we're going to be focusing on Oreos, and I got one more goldfish cookie for you, or cracker for you in this case, that I did not get before. I actually have that now, and I'm going to be knocking that out. We did vanilla cupcake a while back. Yeah, we've got, and like, I believe like cinnamon something a while back. I've got a pretzel now, so we're doing that with Oreos. That's going to be your sip and snack for tomorrow. On Friday, AJ's Movie Reviews will be tackling Minions as well as The Gallows and Selfless. That's going to be coming your way. Saturday, Gaming with Ash returns, and Sunday, Brand New Versus or Cryptic Comment is actually going to be Anchorman. And Monday, that kicks you into the final of our 3 half-year videos, the most anticipated films for the rest of 2015 into 2016. And of course, our Raw Popcast will be Monday night, and that will introduce our newest member of the Raw Popcast team. And that's coming your way. Halloween Horror Nights news, I got a really good feeling that before this week's over, we're getting at least one announcement on one coast, if not both. And once that happens, Popcasts and videos galore. Mark my words, it will happen. And of course, we have New Sip and Snack next week. I go a little bit healthier next week, as much as I can, I guess. And we have NXT, as always, and we'll kick into some more awesome videos, so thank you again for watching NXT. Today, my recap, I know it's a week late, but that's how it works sometimes. If you haven't yet, check out our Beast in the East podcast and our WWE Raw podcast. They'll let you know how we do things when we have a multi-man broadcast team here on Pop. And, of course, you can also check out the other wonderful segments here, like Sip and Snack, or Versus, AJ's Movie Reviews, Gaming with Ash. And you can check out most of this on moviepilot.com/Sir Owen Disney. While you're there, you can also find a link to our Facebook fan page. It's Sir Owen Disney Pop, or search for Sir Owen Disney and Pop. While you're on Facebook, go ahead and friend request me at Owen Disney. You can follow me on Twitter at Sir Owen Disney. And last but certainly not least, you can send me questions you like, either personal questions or travel questions, trip questions, wrestling questions, Disney, Universal, Halloween Horror Nights. 'Tis the season after all. If you want to send me questions that way, or if you'd like to become a popcaster yourself, or finally, one more thing, if you are a wrestling or theme park podcast and you'd like Sir Owen Disney to be a part of your show, you're more than welcome to do all of these things by shooting me an email, sirowendisney@gmail.com. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.